Hello everyone, I'm Aaron Plaza. I'm I'm discussing the linear program simplex maximization method containing equal symbol. The simplex method uses an approach that is very efficient by imposing requirements on the linear programming constraint. All of the constraints are equation with non-negative right-hand sides, or what we call RHS. None of the variables are should be negative. Inequalities into equation with a non-negative right-hand side. The right-hand side represent the availability of a resource, whereas the left-hand side represent the utilization of resource by all variables. The unused amount of resource is then filled by the extra RHS over the left-hand side. Unused, the unused, when we say unused, it is a blank that has never been used, or we call it lack. To convert the inequalities into equation, this is done by adding one slack variable for each inequality. Problem: a store produces two types of product A and B. Product A requires 2 hours of labor and 1 hour of machine time, while product B requires 1 hour of labor and 2 hours of machine time. The labor and the machine time available are 8 hours and 10 hours, respectively. Product A yields a profit of $2 and product B yields a profit of $6. Determine the optimal production quantity of each product to maximize profit. Our objective is to maximize the profit. Maximize Z is equals to 2x sub 1 plus 6x sub 2, and our subject to the constraint are 2x sub 1 plus x sub 2 less than equal to 8, and x sub 1 plus 2x sub 2 are less than equal to 10, and x sub 1 are greater than equal to 0, and x sub 2 are greater than equal to 0. Let's distribute our objective to the other side so we can get the negative 2x sub 1 plus 6x sub 2. By the way, this is our tabulo, and I will put our our variable in the tabulo. To proceed with the method, we should always look for the more negative sign or more negative variable in the variable of z. As can you see, the 6 is has has have a more negative number than the rest of the in the column. And we should divide our key column to the RHS, so we can get so we can proceed to the next method for locking in for locking the k row. 0 divided by negative 6 is equal to 0, and 8 divided by 1 is equal to 8, and 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5. So looking at the ratio, you should look for the smallest amount and use it as a key row. As can you see, the 5 is the smallest, so we should use it as a key row. And and the key element is the one that connecting the key column and key row. It's 2. 2 is our key element, and our key element will be divided by to the key row. So we can get the the x sub 2. 2 divided by 1 divided by 2 is equals to 1 half, and 2 divided by 2 is equals to 1, and 0 divided by 2 is equals to 0, and 1 divided by 2 is equals to 1 half, and 10 divided by 2 is equals to 5. So that's our x sub 1 and 2 sub 1. and and let's proceed to the next table. So and in the column 2, it should be already 0 because you always minus minus and add and multiply in that row. So it's always 0. In the table 2, I already put the variable in the in the solving. All you need to do to solve it, you should always use the row of the a row of the up row of the R2 minus to the key column and times it to the key row. So you can get this ratio, this variable in the table 2, as can you see in the screen. When dealing with the z variable, if it is an negative sign, should use a positive so that you can cancel the negative sign. Can you see? We already have the RHS equals to z equals to 30 and x sub 1 equals to 5 and x sub 2 is equals to 3. Let's proceed to the other problem. I know this can you can see now the production quantity you can get. Product A is can get 11, product B equal to 13. Let's proceed to the next problem. A farmer wants to plant two crops, corn and wheat. On the field, on a field, corn requires 2 units of fertilizer and 1 unit of pesticide per acre, while wheat requires 1 unit of fertilizer and 3 units of pesticide per acre. The farmer has 12 units of fertilizer and 18 units of pesticide. If a corn yields a profit of $50 per acre and wheat yield yields a profit of $80 per acre. Determine the optimal acreage for each drop for each crop to maximize the profit. Maximize Z equals to 50 x sub 1 plus 80 x sub 2, and our subject to the constraint are 2 x sub 1 plus x sub 2 is less than equal to 12, and x sub 1 plus 3x sub 2 is equals are less than equal to 18. Distribute let's distribute our objective to the other side so we can get the negative 50 x sub 1 plus 80 x sub 2. As can you see in the screen, I already put again all the variable we have in the problem. By proceeding the method, should always look for the great negative number, greater more negative number, and that is the negative 80 in the screen. So we should use that as a key column. To look for the key row, should always divide the key column to the RHS so we can look for the ratio that has a lower number, smallest variable in the ratio by dividing it. 0 divided by negative 80 is equals to 0. 12 divided by 1 is equals to 12, and 18 divided by 3 is equals to 6. In the ratio, you can look the 0, 12, and 6, and the 6 is the smallest value in the ratio. So we should use the 6 as our 6 in the row 6 as a key column, key row. And again, to look for the key element, you should always look the one that connecting to the two circle in the screen, the key column and key row. And our key element is the 3 because it is connecting the, the 2. And this divide again the key element to the key row. So you can proceed to the next method. As can you see, I already put the answer in the lower part. And again, to get this, should always use the this tabulo to get this answer. If you want to know the how to solve this, please backward this video in the first problem to how to solve this equation. Okay, but because I'm nice, I'll tell you, I will explain it here. Um, 2 divided by 1 times to 1/3 is equals to fifth third, while 1 minus 1 times 1 is equals to 0, and 1 minus 1 times 0 is equals to 1, and 0 minus 1 is equal 0 0 minus 1 times 1 third is equals to negative 1 third, and 12 mi 12 minus 1 times 12 minus 1 times 6 is equals 6, and 50 negative 50 plus 80 times 1 third is equals to negative 70 70 negative 70 over 3, and 8 negative 80 plus 80 times 1 is equals to 0, and 0 plus 80 times 0 is equals to 0, and 8 0 plus 80 times 1 third is equals to 80 third, and 0 plus 80 times 6 is equals to 480. Di ba? Easy lang. And to proceed with to pro- because there are still a negative sign in our variable, should we should compute it again by using the x sub 1 column as our key column, and let's divide again our key column to the let's divide again our key column to the RHS in the respective row. 60 6 divided by 5 third is equals to 3.6, whereas the 6 divided by 1 third is equals to 18. To look for the key element, a key row, always use the smallest value in the ratio, and that is the 3.6. That will be our key row. And again, the one connecting both variable, both key column and key row, are the fifth third. Let's use it as a key element, and then divide it divide the key element in the key row. Um, this and again, just backward this video to know how to solve this below. As can you see, there are no negative sign anymore in the variable. So let's stop this because there are no more negative sign in the variable, and this is our prophet. This is our prophet prophet in corn are 9.6, and wet are 18, and proceed to the other Problem: a nutritionist wants to create a low-cost diet plan that provides a minimum of 60 grams of protein, 18 grams of carbohydrates, and 40 grams of fat per day. Food A containing 10 grams of protein, 20 grams of carbohydrate, and 5 grams of fat serving, costing $1, and Food B containing 5 grams of protein and 10 grams of carbohydrate and 8 grams of fat fat per serving, costing $0.80. Determine the least expensive way to meet the nutritional requirements. Let's maximize the z equals to 1 x sub 1 plus 0.80 x sub 2 and are subject to the constraint are 10 x sub 1 plus 5 x sub 2 are less than equal to 60, and 20 x sub 1 plus 10 x sub 2 are less than equals to 80, and 5 x sub 1 plus 8 x sub 2 less, are less than equal to 40. To distribute the objective to the other side, maximize the maximize will be put in the left, and we will get the x sub and negative 1 x sub 1 plus 0.80 x sub 2. To proceed in the method, this this is our tabulo, and our variable already put in the tabulo. And again, look for the more negative value in the variable. There are only two negative sign in the variable, and two of it is negative 1 and negative 0.80. So because one is more in 0.80, so let's use the negative 1 as our key column. Then let's divide our key column to the RHS. 60 divided by 10 is equals to 6, and 80 divided by 20 equals to 4, and 40 divided by 5 is equals to 8. In the ratio, you can see the 6, 4, and 8. Look for the smallest value in the ratio and use it as a key row. Because 4 is the smallest, we'll use it as a key row. So it's key row. And again, the key element is always the one that is connected to the both in the key column and key row. So let's divide our key element to the key row. And as can you see, I already put the divided by in the lower in the lower part of of the the row. 20 divided by 20 is equals to 1, and 10 divided by 20 is equals to 1 half, and and 20 divided by 20 divided by 0 is equals to 0, and 1 divided by 20 is equals to 1 over 20 again. 0 divided by 20 is equals to 0, and 80 divided by 20 is equals to 4. So 4, and so 4. To proceed in the next method, should use new the new row new row of slack sub 2 in the previous. Can you see? I already put the variable in the table below, and we already have the x sub 1 in the variable. Again, look for if there is again an negative sign in your variable. Let's just compute it again by using the same method. In our table, there are one negative sign left, that is that negative 3 over 10. So should use the x sub 2 column as our key column, and then let's divide it again in the RHS. So let's divide. 20 divided by negative 5 is equals to negative 4, and 4 divided by 1 half is equals to 8, and 20 divided by 11 over 2 is equals to 3.63. So let's use the negative 4 because it has a negative side. As you know, negative sign is always the smallest because it's already negative. Hero. And again, the one that is connected to the boat is our key element, and that is the negative 5. Negative 5 will be our key element, and the key element will be divided by in the key row. So 0 divided by negative 5 is equals to 0, and negative 5 divided by negative 5 is equals to negative 1. I to 1 by positive 1, and 0 divided by 5 is equals to 0, and 1 negative 1 half divided by negative 5 is equals to 1 over 10, and 0 divided by 5 negative 5 is equals to 0, and 20 divided by negative 5 is equals to negative 4. Sorry about that. By the way, I put the one that I divided by in the lower part of the row. So let's proceed by again that let's proceed again with the solving. Again, and this is our solving because I already solved it. 0 0 I 1 minus 1 half times 1 is equal to 1, while 1 half minus 1 half times 1 equals to 0, and 0 minus 1 half equals to 0 and 1 over 20 minus 1 half times 1 over 10 is equals to 0 and 0 minus 1 half times 0 is equals to 0 and 4 did minus 1 half times negative 4 equals to 6 and 0 my in the slack slack 3, so 0 minus 11 over 2 times 0 is equals to 0 and 11 over 2 minus 11 over 2 times 1 is equals to 0 and 0 minus minus 11 over 2 times 0 is equals to 0 and negative 1 fourth negative 1 fourth minus 11 over 2 times 1 fifth is equals to negative 4 over 5 and 1 minus 11 over 2 times 0 is equals to 1 and 20 minus 11 over 2 is equals I times negative 4 is equals to 42 and in the upper row let's compute 0 plus 3 over 10 times 0 is equals to 0 and negative 3 over 10 plus 3 over 10 times 1 is equals to 0 and 0 plus 3 over 10 times 0 is equals to 0 and 1 over 20 plus 3 over 10 times 1 over 10 is equals to 1 over 25 and 0 plus 3 over 10 times 0 is equals to 0 and 4 4 plus 3 over 10 times negative 4 is equals to 2.8. Now, let's see if there are negative sign. If there are no more negative sign, let's stop na. So, z is equals to 2.8 and x sub 2 is equals to negative 4 and x sub 1 is equals to 6 and x sub 3 is equals to 42. And thank you for watching.